Okay, so welcome back to the Communication Basics series. This is day 2, and we are going to start with step 1. If you missed the first part, I'll link it below in the show notes. Not show notes, it's not a podcast. I have a podcast. I'll link it below in the description box so you can go back and watch the first. The first one kind of gives you an overview of all of the steps, and today we're going to focus on step 1, which is communicating, cultivating a clear message. We're going to cultivate a clear message, okay? So, one, why is it important to cultivate a clear message? It's important because a lot of times when we are trying to communicate something, when we're trying to share something that we're struggling with, our brain goes all over the place, and we end up thinking about everything that is even remotely related to this issue. So if I come to you to tell you that I get frustrated when you're late when you come home from work, I am frustrated because I'm waiting on you and you're late, right? That's the initial message. But when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking how inconsiderate you are. I'm thinking about the time you were late to the dinner party with our friends. I'm thinking about the time that I got stuck in traffic and I was late and you called me out on it. I am thinking about all of these things that have a little bit of a connection, but aren't really the focus of why we're talking today. And so it is important that, yes, think about all those things, but also what is the connecting factor? What is the frustrating part? And more importantly, how is it affecting you so much that you felt like you needed to talk about it? So you want to start with a very clear, I feel frustrated when blah, 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 blah. I feel anxious when I don't hear from you and you're running late and I'm concerned that something happened to you. I feel angry when I cook a dinner and you don't let me know that you're going to pick up something. I feel annoyed when I'm cleaning up and you come home and say you're hungry when you haven't even told me that you were going to be late. Those are the things that you have to focus on. And some of those words people have attachment to, but guess what? If you are clear in your message, then some of those issues that come from, oh, so you're annoyed at me, some of those things can be addressed with more ease and less tension, okay? The way that this affects our communication or our overall communication is because if we don't start off with a clear message, you'll feel like you've talked for an hour and nothing has got accomplished. You'll feel like you've talked for an hour and your partner, your friend, your family member heard nothing you said because you didn't start off with exactly what you wanted to communicate. You started off with a loose kind of maybe what you want to talk about, and then maybe they took it over here, and then maybe you took it up there, and maybe it's gotten taken everywhere. So it wasn't a clear direction for the conversation. So you have to start off with the clear message so that you can now know what direction the conversation is going to go in. If you have a loose conversation, if you start off with a loose association of it was kind of this, kind of that, I'm not sure, then it's easy for the conversation to go all over the place. So in order to be efficient in your communication and to make sure that you're feeling heard in your communication, you have to start off with a really clear, cultivated message. So sit down, think about what you want to say, think about how to say it in the best possible way. You don't want to come at your partner in an attacking way. You want to have a soft start. You want to say, I know you're stressed, but this is what bothers me. I just want to let you know why I've been acting weird lately. I just want to talk to you about blah, 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 blah. You don't want to go straight for it and be like, you did this, because that's going to cause so many more problems than you want. So here are some quick tips to help you make sure that you have a very clear, cultivated message. The first one is, if you're starting a conversation with someone where you want to have a dialogue, you don't want to spend too much time telling them how you feel. I know that sounds kind of strange because you should be open, you should be honest, and you should be able to communicate how you feel. But sometimes what happens is we start talking about all of our feelings all at once, every feeling I've ever had related to this topic, and that can be overwhelming to someone. So focus on today. Focus on overall. Most of the time I feel annoyed, but it's really because I'm hurt. Most of the time I know I come across as angry, but it's because I'm disappointed because I expect more. If you can kind of shorten it a little bit so that this person can truly understand where you're coming from, then that will make a world of difference in when you guys are communicating after this point. Because now they aren't, when you say we need to talk, or when you say I just want to say, they're not like, what are we talking about today? They know you're going to be straight to the point. They know you're going to be honest. They know you're going to be clear, and they know they are going to have an opportunity to talk. Sometimes when people talk and go on and on and on, it feels like I'm never going to get a word in. Okay? So keep it short. You also want to make sure you focus on one issue. That's it. We don't come into conversations talking about the 5 things that annoy me about you. That is not okay. You want to focus on one thing. It's okay to bring in examples, right? It's okay to say, well, that one time you did this, that was an example of when I felt that way. Or one time you did that, that was something that kind of frustrated me. That is okay to share that. But you don't want to spend all of your time bringing in examples, pointing out little things that they're just going to negate anyway. You want to make sure that you're giving them something very concise and very small that they can take and digest and give back to you. Understand where you're coming from and respond to that. You don't want to give them a whole lot of information and 20 different things that you're frustrated about so they can pick and choose what they want to talk about. Pick one thing, focus on that, and then when you're done with that, if y'all aren't exhausted, if y'all feel comfortable, if you're fine, say like, oh, you might want to ask them what they have, but then you can also bring up something else if you feel like this is the time to do it. But maybe, take a break, bring it up another day if it's not something that's pressing. Another way to have a clear message is to focus on your own feelings and your own experiences. Don't put words or experiences in their mouths. A lot of times we say, I know you only did that because da, 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 da. I know you were thinking blah, 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 blah. How do you know? And I get it. Some of you have been in relationships for over 10, 15, 20 years, and you know your partner better than anyone. Definitely better than me. But sometimes it is very frustrating when someone tells you what your experience is, or when someone tells you how you feel about something, even if it's true, even if it's 100% true that yes, I was angry. When somebody says, I know you were angry about that, you are already starting to boil. So don't do that to someone else. Don't tell them how they feel. Focus on yourself. I felt when you did, when they had an action, when it was something that was provable. Not, I feel angry when you're pissed at me. Because how do you know they're pissed at you? Maybe they weren't pissed. Maybe they were hurt that something happened at work. You just don't know. So focus on yourself. Focus on your feelings. Don't focus so much on the other person and what you're assuming they're going through. So those are the tips to cultivate a clear message and to start the conversation off on the right foot. If you like this video, or if there was something that resonated with you, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Make sure you keep up with all of the series that we're starting here on this channel. I appreciate you guys, and comment below if there is something related to this that you have questions about, or that it made you think of maybe in a behavior that you have or something that you see in your partner. Comment below, and some of the questions that I see below I'll definitely make some videos about. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.